Hi, my name's Alice and I'm a titled musculoskeletal physiotherapy working at our Dixon practices at SportsCare. Although I've been a swimmer my whole life and water polo is where I live at the moment, I'm comfortable anywhere in the water. And I'm really passionate about helping people to improve their skills and their performance, not just in the pool, whether that be on the rugby field or working their way up a rock climbing wall. I also really like working with people with complex presentations. But right now, it's time to make sure we're staying fit and strong while we can't be in the pool, so when we can get in the pool, we're already there and ready to go. So let's get started. Let's get started with a bit of a warm-up. So first of all, we're going to start with some gentle arm swings, just gently starting to move that trunk from side to side. We're going to start nice and small and slowly get out, so we're getting to some nice big rotations. As we get right up to the side, we're then going to start to lift our arms up a little bit, so we're getting a little bit more of a lat stretch. Once you're getting all the way, getting that nice slap under your armpits, tell you that you've gotten all the way. We're then going to bring it all the way back down, nice and gentle, and then just do some trunk rotation. The goal here is that you can keep your hips nice and square while turning your trunk from side to side. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're practicing that nice streamlined position. So hands up above, really trying to reach towards the roof and get that nice stretch. And then I want you to be able to practice coming backwards just a little bit. So forwards and then backwards, trying to practice getting that nice long position with those arms back over your head. For our strength exercises today, we're going to start with a little bit of an ab circuit. So when we do these exercises, I want you to make sure that you've done each exercise and then you're going to repeat it 3 times. Okay, the first one is going to be a plank. Now there's a few different positions that you can do your plank in, so make sure you're choosing a level that is hard but is also achievable in that you're keeping your posture and keeping your position correctly. So the first position that you could start in is nice and neutral, just on your knees. Okay, you could then progress to doing it on your toes, and if you're looking for a real challenge, we could then get up onto your hands and then have to control it. And the last challenge that you could add is being able to lift one leg at a time while you're doing it. So the goal would be to be able to do each of those for 30 seconds. Then you're going to move on to do a side plank. So again, there's a few different levels that you could do. So you could start on your knees, or you could go all the way out onto your side. Again, we want to be able to hold for 30 seconds. Now, because this is a one-sided, you're only using one side of your body for the exercise, you've got to make sure that you do the other side as well. So try and use the same level on the other side. And you'll do that for another 30 seconds. The last exercise in this set is going to be a little bit more movement based. So what you're going to do, you're going to find just a comfortable position somewhere in the middle, while you're on your hands and knees, and then you're going to lift an arm and a leg. The goal here is that your back doesn't move while you're doing it. So if you're having trouble getting both the arm and the leg lifted, you could start with just an arm lift, and you could alternate that movement, or you could do just a leg kick back behind you. And then the last progression would be being able to do both of them together. And again, I want you to be able to do this for 30 seconds. You should feel some tummy work. The big things that we don't want to see is that you rotate or you move your back as you're doing it. So make sure the only thing that's moving is your arm or your leg. Remember, you've got to do 3 lots of those exercises before you move on. The next set of 3 exercises are going to be targeting our legs. So we're going to start with a wall squat. We're going to get those quads really warmed up. So find a nice solid bit of wall. You're going to sit down, so you want your knees at 90 degrees and your trunk at 90 degrees. While you're there, make sure you roll your pelvis backwards to flatten it against the wall, because that's really going to work those quads. To start with, we'll do lots of 30 seconds. But when you're feeling up for it, try and progress this so you're getting up to a minute and even 2 minutes to really get those quads working. It's going to be hard when we get all 3 working together. Okay, so wall squat is your first exercise. Your second exercise is going to be a lunge. So when we set that up, we want 1 foot forwards, 1 foot backwards. The big thing is that your shin shouldn't come forwards and your trunk should go straight down towards the ground. So nice and controlled, keeping that trunk going straight down towards the ground. Now again, because we're only doing one side, we've got to make sure we swap over to do the other side. So you spin around, and you swap over, and there we go. The other things that people tend to do to cheat is that they let themselves rotate. So make sure everything's staying nice and square and that trunk's working really hard. So the glute of the front leg is the one that's doing lots of the work. The last exercise in our set is we're coming down onto the floor. What we're going to do is we're going to be lifting our leg up in the air. Now there's a few tricky points with that. We've got to make sure that we're not using our back to do the movement. So what we're going to do is you're going to roll your pelvis backwards. You're then going to think about your leg being as long as it can, and then you're going to use your glute to lift up. So it's a pretty small movement, and you should feel it up nice and high. It shouldn't feel like your hamstring is doing lots of movement. Okay? That glute should be working really hard. For this one, we're going to make sure that we're doing sets of 15 on each leg. Okay? So then swapping over. Make sure during the exercise that you're continuously making sure that bottom is tucked under so your glute's working hard. Rightio, so there are your 3 glute exercises that we're going to start with. So you've got your wall squat, you've got your lunge, and then you've got your hip extension laying on the ground. Make sure you get all 3 done before you go back to the start to start again, and then you'll get your rest. The last set of 3 exercises we're going to do are going to focus on a little bit more back work. So to start with, we're going to do what we call YTIW. So what that means, when we come down on our stomach, okay, we're going to start in that really nice posture we're talking about with our bottom tucked under and our tummy turned out a little bit. We're going to gently draw our shoulder blades back, and then we're going to come out to the side with our head gently lifted, and so this is our T position. Okay, so we're going to slide out to a Y, come down to a T, into an I, and then back down into a W. So Y, T, I, and back down into a W. When you're doing this exercise, you should be feeling it through the middle of your back. If you're feeling it in your lower back, make sure that your bottom stays tucked under so you get more work happening up here. So we're going to do 10 sets of Y, T, I, W. So Y, T, I, W. The second exercise in this set is going to be a push-up. So there's obviously different variations of a push-up. You can either do it on your knees, so you're getting some nice strength, or you can go all the way up to perform it on your toes if you're feeling a little bit up for it. You're going to do 10 push-ups before we move on to the last exercise. And the last exercise is going to be what we call the swimmer position. So this is incorporating all those positions that we've been working on, getting right to the end. But we're going to be focusing on our freestyle really long position, getting everything working. So you're going to combine, so your bottom gets tucked under, okay? You've got to lift up those arms, and then you're going to beat, okay? So glutes are doing the leg lift, and arms are doing the top. So you're really getting that middle of your back working. You should feel a little bit of your low tummy. And we're going to go for 30 seconds, okay? We don't want to see you rocking all over the place. I don't want to see you really arched. Keep that bottom tucked under so your tummy's working hard as we try and get that flutter kick happening with your arms. Again, 30 seconds. Okay? So then we do 3 sets of those exercises together. So you've got a little bit of back working for your back set. And lastly, now that we've worked really hard, we're just going to do a little bit of mobility work to finish off. So to start with, we're just going to do a cat arch. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders. You're going to work all the way down and then tuck your bottom under all the way up, getting that nice movement happening through your lower back. Make sure your head follows as well. And we're going to go for 10 reps, getting that nice movement happening through your kick. That's 9, 10. Then we're going to move on to make sure we're doing some rotation. So we're going to do thread the needle. So we thread the needle, your hand comes back towards your opposite knee. You really let your trunk rotate so you're coming through. You then open up and coming back down. We're going to do 5 on each side. And there's 5. So we'll swap sides, so hand back towards the opposite knee. Okay, and the last exercise we're going to do is really nice and gentle, what we call bow and arrow. You want your knees bent up at 90 degrees, your arms out to the side. You can have your head on a pillow if you've got one. And then you're going to keep your hips nice and still and draw your arm across your body so you get some nice rotation happening through that trunk. Remember, it's a movement, it's not a stretch, so we want to keep going and keep doing. Again, we're going to do 5 on each side. Okay, swapping sides. Three, 4, 5. There we go. All done for our SwimStrong program. Remember, these are all the starter exercises, so we can make these a whole lot harder or a whole lot easier depending on where you're at. The big thing is make sure that you're feeling comfortable while you're doing them, and if you need a hand or have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, and we're happy to answer any questions and to see you to make an individual program for yourself. Good luck.